Well guys, I know it's been a while, and what a last few weeks it has been for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They went on a 16-game winning streak, then they went out west and somehow managed to lose 4 in a row, which raised a lot of concerns, and then they got back on track against the Utah Jazz with a dominating 30-point win that featured a Cavalanche coming out of halftime. I apologize that I have not made a Cavs video in a bit. I know I have been super consistent all year long, but I just was not sure how long the losing streak was going to go on for, and I did not want to come on here and overreact for no reason. I'm gonna talk about what has happened in this video, but if we all can just take a deep breath and just realize it was a bad week of basketball with not the best situation in terms of traveling on the road out west in a different time zone, I think we all can realize that that's all it was. It was just a bad week. That's it. The Cavs played with low energy, they lost their rhythm, and if you zoom all the way out and look at the big picture, you will realize that the Cavs have won 17 of their last 21 games. It is just weird the way it happened. Before I get into everything though, I want to introduce you guys to the WonderFan app. I know if you guys watch my channel consistently, you've been seeing me promote this app a lot, but I for real just want to put you guys on, because WonderFan is breaking the sports world. It is an app that is free to download on the App Store that basically pays you just for being a sports fan, which I'm assuming is what majority of you guys already are. Like, I was just at some March Madness games in person the other day, and while I was there, I earned over 200 Wonder for doing literally nothing except pressing that I was at Rocket Arena on the app. And for 100 Wonder, you can enter into the $1,000 raffle that WonderFan does every single week, or for around 1,000 Wonder, you can redeem $10 to $15 gift cards to places like Chipotle, Nike, Uber, and so much more. So go to the App Store right now and download WonderFan. You won't regret it. Alright, so starting with the good, the Cavs just beat the Utah Jazz 120-91 in a homecoming game for Donovan Mitchell. We of course got to watch Colin Sexton, which is always fun. I definitely miss his energy and tenacity, and the Cavs actually had me kind of worried out of the gate because once again, the offense was just flat. They could not shoot, everything was coming at the rim, and they could not pull away more than 10 points. The Jazz just kept coming back every time and even took the lead in the second. Donovan Mitchell still could not find his rhythm offensively. I haven't seen Dean Wade make multiple shots in a row in months. Darius Garland was inefficient, so I was worried for good reason. But then the real Cavs finally showed up out of the break. Kenny Atkinson must have said something that sparked the guys, because then we saw the 15-0 run that we have not seen in over a week. This game really was a group effort. Not a single player had over 20 points, and only 3 had over 15. So to have that kind of stat line and win in that sort of fashion, even though it was the Jazz, just shows how deep this team is, even when they are in a bit of a funk. Looking at the stat line from this game, Jared Allen led the way in scoring with 18 points, and he grabbed 6 boards while throwing out 4 assists, and he also had a steal and a block as well, doing everything he did in just 26 minutes. And once again, Atkinson has been keeping the starter minute level at a minimum. Max Strus only played 18 minutes, and he had 7, 3, and 2, and then Evan Mobley basically had a rest day, playing 21 minutes, but he was still able to get his double-double with 11 points and 11 rebounds. And he had 3 blocks, furthering his case to win Defensive Player of the Year, and then Donovan Mitchell kind of got back on track, I guess, scoring 16 points with 4 assists and 2 steals. I only say that because he also only logged 21 minutes. And then Garland had 12 points with 7 big rebounds and 4 assists, and he had 2 steals as well, which, as I've said many times, Garland is so improved on the defensive end. Off the bench, to no surprise, it was Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter getting it done. Hunter had 15 points and 6 rebounds, and then Jerome stuffed the stat sheet with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal, and he just continues to play with so much confidence on both ends of the floor. And then Sam Merrill and Okoro both had 6 points, and Wade had 5 and 4. Donovan Mitchell kind of acknowledged the losing streak, and he completely put it on himself and his performance. I gotta respect whenever a superstar is able to do that, but at the same time, we do need Don to start playing well. Usually I would not overreact, but it almost has seemed like he's not 100% or something is off. Because his entire game has been a tad off. His shooting, his driving, his defense, really everything. But again, I know that everyone goes through a slump at some point. He's human, so might as well get it done with now and learn from it as the Cavs look to gear up for April, which crazy enough is right around the corner. And really, when a superstar is in a slump, it can translate to the whole team. Sam Merrill all of a sudden went ice cold for 5 straight games, Garland struggled, even Ty Jerome showed some frustrated body language at times, and DeAndre Hunter had a dry stretch of games as well. It was kind of funny to see all the trolls react to the losing streak on Instagram though. People genuinely do think the Cavs are going to lose in the first or second round, and I can't wait to see their reactions when the Cavs cruise past both of those first few rounds. Listen, I know they have been struggling, but outside of Boston, there is not a single team that that worries me at all in a 7-game series in the East. We can't just forget what the Cavs have done this year because of one bad stretch of games. And like I said, the Cavs still are 17-4 in their last 21. But going back to the start of the losing streak, the Cavs lost to the Orlando Magic at home, and that was one of the games where I think the only reason they lost is because they were overdue to lose. They couldn't make a shot in the fourth, and that was a good game for Banchero to win because he needed it. The dude is a baller, but it's funny how he came into Cleveland and started talking trash, especially to Ty Jerome when he leads a play-in team. And he acted like he did something by getting that dub when the Cavs had no incentive to win in the first place, but hey, I guess he did something because that loss carried with the team all the way out west as they continued to come out flat. The Clippers game was just crazy. They could not miss, and their defense stepped up and shut Mitchell down. The Clippers are a good team. They are playing some good basketball right now, but sometimes there is nothing you can do when a team is that hot. And then the very next night, with no rest, the Cavs played Sacramento, and that was a loss I could have predicted from the start. I did not like the Cavs' energy at all, but that felt like a game where we were watching a team that had already clinched their spot and a team that was tired on the second night of a back-to-back out west. So I was not mad that the Kings won. I kind of expected it. It was just the way that game finished that kind of pissed me off. And then the Cavs went to Phoenix to play the Suns. That one was kind of inexcusable. The Cavs should not have played that bad, but again, by this point they were on a skid. It was probably in the back of everyone's heads. Donovan Mitchell couldn't buy a bucket. He was shooting tour dates, and the Suns just dominated. So the Cavs really did need to win that game last night against the Jazz. I know it wasn't like a statement win or anything. The Jazz are the worst team in the league, but still, it was great to see them come out of the locker room with that kind of energy, have a Cavalanche, and win in dominating fashion by 30 points. I think once this team comes back to Cleveland, they are going to be perfectly fine. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to rest up. I think he's going to be ready to go for the playoffs. I really do think him, Garland, even Allen, they're all going to get out of the funk. I think Evan Mobley is going to dominate in the playoffs. I'm so excited for what we are about to watch. And man, the playoffs are exhausting. It is like every night you stay up until midnight watching, especially when the series go to like 5, 6, or 7 games. I mean, I know I stay up till past midnight every night anyways, but it still is exhausting because it's intense. But I cannot wait. There is nothing like playoff basketball, and I still do think the Cavs are going to make a run, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's really all I have to say for this video. I'm going to stop yapping. Here's what Kenny Atkinson, as well as some of the other guys, had to say following the dub against the Jazz.
Starting group locked in. You know, I thought it was Evan on defense. You know, protecting the rim, and he was all over the place. And I thought J.A. was great on offense. I felt like our two big guys, our starters. I think we got off to a 13-0 start. That was kind of the story of the game.
Thanks, Kaylee.
You can hear me on the broadcast yelling, me, 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 me. And all I see is Donovan running to take my lob.
I didn't hear that. Honestly, it was a very selfish play. I thought he had heard me. I had called for it too. And then by the time I realized it was too late, we both just stared at the basketball.
That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point. And if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you'd like to see next. And until then, I will see you all later.